In the soft glow of a dimly lit booth at Carmine's, Mark tapped his fingers on the checkered tablecloth, his gaze fixed on the entrance. Nervous anticipation coiled in his gut. He hoped tonight, in this classic slice of Little Italy, they could recapture the spark that had dimmed in their 27-year marriage with Sarah. He'd rehearsed his words, envisioning a fresh start. But when Sarah finally appeared, his hopeful breath hitched in his throat. She wasn't alone. Poised and confident, she walked in, arm entwined with David, Mark's closest confidant. The scene unfolded like a slow-motion train wreck. Mark's smile froze, his mind a chaotic scramble. David? His best friend? With Sarah? David met his eyes, a smirk playing on his lips, a casual nod as if this were the most natural thing in the world. "Sarah? David?" Mark stammered, confusion thick in his voice, in his, "What's going on?" He looked from one to the other, desperate for a sign, any indication that this was a grotesque misunderstanding, a cruel joke. Sarah didn't answer immediately. She slid into the booth opposite him, David settling beside her, her hand resting possessively on his arm. Her gaze met his, disturbingly calm. From her designer bag, she produced a thick sheaf of papers and slid them across the table to Mark. A cold dread washed over him as he recognized the stark legal font, divorce papers. His hands began to tremble, his mind struggling to process the impossible. He looked up, whispering, barely audible. What is this?" Sarah folded her arms, her expression detached, cold. "It's exactly what it looks like, Mark. Divorce papers." Her voice was steady, each word a precise, painful jab. "I've already moved all our savings to my account." She paused, letting the weight of her words sink in, then delivered the final blow. "You're no longer needed, Mark. You're a failure. I'm done with this life." Mark's mouth gaped open in shock, his world tilting violently. "Sarah, what are you saying? We have a family. We built this life together." He turned to David, betrayal and disbelief warring in his eyes. "David?" David shrugged, a mocking smile stretching across his face. "People change, Mark. You were so lost in your Wall Street world you didn't notice anything. Sarah and I found something real." Mark's mind flashed with memories, late-night talks with David, confiding his marital anxieties. Had David been plotting this all along? Was every word of advice a calculated move in this elaborate scheme? Sarah glanced at her watch, a hint of impatience flickering across her face. "David is my future, Mark. We're leaving tonight. Honeymoon in St. Bart's." She added it with a casual tone, as if it were an afterthought. "Oh, and you can keep the kids," she said offhandedly, as if they were unwanted furniture. "Keep the kids?" Mark echoed, the words lodging like shards of ice in his heart. His 3 children, oblivious, at home, their familiar world about to implode. Sarah's expression softened, a cold, empty sympathy. "I need passion, excitement, things you can't give me." David chuckled, draping an arm around her shoulders, smug satisfaction radiating from him. "Accept the truth, Mark. You were holding her back. This has been over for a long time. We're just brave enough to make the move." Rage surged within Mark, but the sheer audacity of the betrayal paralyzed him. He looked at Sarah, a desperate plea in his gaze. "Sarah, 27 years, everything we built together. Are you really ready to throw it all away?" Her face remained impassive, a silent, devastating answer to his despair. "I have every right to be happy, Mark. I don't owe you anything." Mark's fists clenched, his voice trembling. And what about the children? Our family? David exhaled heavily, rolling his eyes. You're making too much of this. She left that life behind. Now she's with me. Sarah shot Mark a dismissive look, her eyes cold and contemptuous. Really, Mark? Stop acting like this is some great tragedy you couldn't foresee. Her words sliced him like a razor, transforming confusion into fury. Is that it? You're just walking away from everything like it meant nothing? Our family? Our savings? Her voice was flat, indifferent. Yes, Mark, I already have. She shrugged, discarding something once precious. Mark felt his life fracturing into pieces. The woman before him was a stranger. He had genuinely believed they were building something lasting, a life for him, for her, for their kids. They had weathered storms, or so he thought. Now he saw it was all a mirage. Sarah stood, took David's hand, and pulled him up. I don't have the energy for long goodbyes, she said. David and I have a flight. She snatched her purse, glanced back with a cold, indifferent gaze, and said, Goodbye, Mark. With those words, she left, David at her side, their laughter echoing as they exited Carmine's. Mark remained seated, paralyzed, staring at the divorce papers, a chilling testament to a life shattered in a single evening. Around him, the restaurant buzzed with life, soft jazz playing, glasses clinking, patrons murmuring. But it all faded into a distant hum. His world was irrevocably broken. Later, he sat alone in his dimly lit Upper West Side apartment, silence pressing in on him. His gaze drifted to the photos on the walls, family vacations, moments of laughter and smiles that now felt like elaborate lies. His eyes settled on a photo of him and Sarah, arms around each other, laughing, taken on their 20th anniversary by the lake, under a starlit sky where they'd promised forever. Mark gripped the frame, memories washing over him. Late nights she'd come home. Work, just work, she'd say, laughing when he'd ask if everything was okay, calling him paranoid. Now, those moments twisted, the warmth in her eyes a cruel deception. He recalled their wedding day, the vows, the dreams, ups and downs, together, or so he'd believed. Then a more insidious memory surfaced. 4 summers ago, backyard barbecue. David brought a bottle of expensive wine, hours of laughter, shared stories. Sarah went to check on the kids. David clapped a hand on Mark's shoulder. You're like a brother to me, he'd said, sincerity dripping from his voice. Brother, Mark whispered the word, a bitter taste in his mouth. All those moments, David pretending to listen, to care, a calculated betrayal. Every smile, every word of support, part of this game. Mark shook his head, snapping back to the cold reality of his apartment. He reached for his laptop on the coffee table, logged into their shared bank account. The transaction history loaded. His heart plummeted. Cold, stark truth stared back. Sarah had drained nearly every penny, leaving a pittance, barely enough to last the month. 27 years, and she'd left him with nothing, a ghost in her life. The shock stole his breath. The doorbell rang, jarring him back to the present. Who now? He rose, weary, and opened the door. Standing there was Ben, an old friend, former colleague, his face etched with concern. Mark, Ben greeted softly, taking in his friend's ravaged face. I heard about the divorce. Just wanted to check in. He spoke gently. Mark managed a weak smile, a pale imitation, betraying the raw pain within. "Come in, Ben." He stepped aside. Ben entered, glancing around the dimly lit room. "You look like you haven't slept in days." Mark gave a bitter laugh. "Honestly, feels that way. Everything's just falling apart, Ben." He choked on the words. "Sarah, she's with David now." Bitterness laced his voice. "My best friend." Months, maybe longer, they'd been planning this. Ben's eyes widened. "David? Seriously?" Mark nodded, sinking onto the couch, defeat heavy on his shoulders. "She emptied our accounts, left me with the kids, vanished. Like we meant nothing." Ben sat beside him, his voice low, sympathetic. "I didn't know it had gotten this bad, Mark. I knew you were having trouble, but—" He trailed off, words failing him. Mark buried his face in his hands. "I feel like a complete fool, Ben. I trusted them both. Every time I confided in David about our problems, he used it against me." Ben placed a comforting hand on his friend's shoulder, his voice steady, kind. "Mark, you didn't deserve this. People like them, they're selfish. They don't care about the wreckage. They just move on." Mark stared at the floor, his voice a whisper. "She was with him this whole time? Right in front of me. And I didn't see a thing." Ben sighed heavily. "You saw what you wanted to see, Mark. You believed in her, in your marriage. No shame in that." Silence settled, the weight of Sarah's betrayal filling the room, suffocating them both. After a long pause, Mark's voice returned, steadier now. "I don't even know where to begin, Ben. My whole life, centered around her, around our family. And now, she's just gone." Ben looked at him intently. "You're still a father, Mark. The kids need you now, more than ever. Sarah may have left, but that doesn't mean you do too." A flicker of determination ignited within Mark. His children, lost, confused in this chaos. They needed him. He realized, with sudden clarity, he was all they had now. Ben gave his shoulder a firm pat. "I know this isn't the life you planned, but maybe it's time to focus on what's still here. You have your kids, and you're stronger than you think. You don't need her to hold it all together." Mark clenched his jaw, despair hardening into resolve. "You're right. I need to be there for them. They deserve better than this." A gentle smile touched Ben's face, relief in his eyes. "That's the Mark I know. And if you need anything, anything at all, I'm here. You don't have to go through this alone." Gratitude surged through Mark, a lifeline in the storm. He wasn't alone. People believed in him. Losing Sarah was devastating, but not the end. As Ben left, Mark stood by the door, silence returning, heavy but different now. Sarah's betrayal still stung, but a spark of resolve flickered. This was his home. He wouldn't surrender it. He would fight for his children, give them stability. Returning to the living room, he picked up the photo of him and Sarah, gently turned it face down. She had chosen her path. Now he would choose his. Later, Mark found himself in Jessica's office. Law books lined the walls, certificates gleaming. He hadn't been here in years, certainly not for this. He looked down at the divorce papers Sarah had thrust at him 2 nights ago. Jessica entered, her professional demeanor softening into a warm smile. Years of friendship, she'd listened to his stories about Sarah. Today, something different in her expression. She was his ally. "Mark," she greeted him warmly, concern in her voice, sitting across from him. "I heard what happened with Sarah. I'm so sorry." Her voice was firm, understanding. Mark struggled for words. Thanks, Jessica. Didn't know where else to turn. She just left, emptied our bank account, threw these papers at me, left me with the kids. His voice wavered, betrayal a raw wound. Jessica leaned forward, empathy in her gaze. And she thinks she can just vanish, take all the money. She shook her head, outrage clear. Mark handed her the folder. Made it clear she's done with us. Told me to keep the kids, like they're a burden. Jessica flipped through the papers, nodding thoughtfully. All right, you'll need strength. Hold on to it. She looked up, determination in her eyes. Mark, don't sign these papers yet. We need to review everything carefully. Mark looked uncertain. But she already took the money, Jessica. It's not over, she replied, tapping the papers. Laws, protections. She can't just disappear with the money and think that's it. Joint funds. Half of that money is yours. We'll fight for it. Jessica continued. If she thinks she can leave you with everything and run off with your best friend, she's mistaken. Abandoning family, financial chaos, won't play well in court. Hope flickered in Mark. Jessica had always been there, even during the rough patches with Sarah. Late-night coffees, listening without judgment. Never criticized Sarah, but honest in a way few others were. Now, tense, focused. Here's the plan, she began. File to freeze remaining funds, initiate a full financial audit, track where Sarah moved the money, see if there's recovery. Mark nodded, Jessica's words forming a plan. Will that be enough? Sarah's hidden the money. David's got his network. A mocking smile touched Jessica's lips, determination glinting in her eyes. Won't be easy, but Mark, Sarah, and David think you'll fold. Take it. But soon they'll learn every choice has consequences. Mark lowered his head, knuckles white gripping the table edge. I trusted them, Jessica. Both of them. Thought we were a family. His voice shook, emotion raw. How did it all fall apart so fast? Jessica reached out, gently placing her hand over his. Didn't happen overnight, Mark. You just didn't see it because you trusted them. Held on even when Sarah had let go. Mark looked up, surprised, seeing Jessica's unwavering confidence. You really think we have a chance? His voice trembled, vulnerability surfacing. She squeezed his hand, reassuring, then released it. I'm certain. Seems like things are spiraling, but you still have so much. Your children, your rights. Court will see she left you with everything. Jessica's words sparked resolve, strength he'd lost since Sarah's betrayal. Thank you, Jessica. Don't know what I'd do without you. Jessica's face softened, composure replaced by a warm smile. That's what friends are for. And honestly, I'd enjoy knocking Sarah off her high horse. What she did, no justification. They sat in silence, lost in thought. Mark realized he wasn't alone. Jessica was more than a lawyer, a friend who believed in him. Leaving her office, anger and confusion began to fade. Control, slowly, returning. Jessica, more than just an attorney, someone who cared. This wasn't the end. Maybe a new beginning. Jessica, he called, as she gathered notes. We'll get through this, Mark. When it's over, fresh start. Keep moving forward, one day at a time. As he left, a sense of purpose settled within him. He wouldn't back down. He'd fight for his kids, and for himself. Later that night, in his study, papers scattered, he reflected. Photo albums, faded receipts. memories of a life now tainted. He picked up a photo. Family trip, Sarah, fishing trip with David. Vivid memories, now tarnished. Reluctantly, Sarah's old bag. Stranger among her belongings, but he needed answers. Receipt from a hotel, side pocket. Heart tightened. 2 months ago, weekend Sarah claimed work retreat. Trembling hands, another receipt. Different hotel, weeks later. Lightning bolt realization. Months, he whispered. Memories flooded back. Sarah's late nights, vague excuses, avoiding his gaze, phone face down. Betrayal boiled, anger rising. How could I not see this? Desperate, he powered on her old laptop. Proof. Messages between Sarah and David. Ordinary chats morphing into intimate exchanges. Honeymoon, luxury cruise, European tour, funded by their account. New life, leaving him, kids, behind. Fists clenched. They think they can throw me away? Bitterness. They acted like he was nothing. Dark determination stirred. If Sarah and David thought they could leave without consequences, time to show them every action had a price. Thoughts whirled, planning his next move. Perfect honeymoon? He'd make sure it came at a high cost. He grabbed the phone, called Jessica. Second ring, her voice calm, concern laced. Mark, it's late. Something happen? Deep breath. I found everything, Jessica. Receipts, messages, months, honeymoon planned with our savings. Brief pause, Jessica's voice steadier. Didn't even try to hide it. Works in our favor. Mark's voice firm, resolute. Jessica, I don't want them to walk away unscathed. Want them to feel everything I felt. Jessica's voice softened, but determination matched his. They will, Mark, but be careful. Revenge is tempting, but we need to stay within the law. Do it right, they'll pay. Mark hesitated, voice trembling. I'm ready, Jessica. Then let's make them regret every moment, she said thoughtfully. First, finances. You're entitled to half, maybe more. Evidence, intentional actions. Documenting her use of marital funds for affair strengthens our case. Mark nodded, anger sharpening his focus. But it's not just money. I want them to feel rejection, lose everything they hoped for. Jessica's voice held a gentle warning. Stay within the law, Mark. But trust me, they won't get off easy. Betrayed you, abandoned family, court will see that. Next hour they planned, detail by detail. Freeze assets, file complaint, abandonment, fraud, primary custody. Present our case comprehensively, Jessica said, confident. Actions have consequences. She warned of complications if David intervened. Call ended. Mark leaned back, processing. First time in weeks, dark satisfaction stirred. Sarah and David facing reality, not just abandoned responsibilities. Consequences, restless, garage, remnants of life with Sarah, anniversary gifts, photos, memorabilia. Packed them, box, threw it out, closing the door on the past. Relief, freeing himself, returning to quiet house, water, savoring peace. First time since betrayal, something beyond sadness. Determination. Photo of him, kids, amusement park. Laughter, rides, pure joy. Faint smile. Warmth stirred. Children. Anchor, purpose. Photo back. Deep breath. Steely resolve. Kids needed him. He'd be there. Support they needed. Riley's message. Everything's filed. Stay strong. Don't let them see weakness. Mark replied. Thank you, Jessica. I'm ready. Turned off office light. Relief. Not alone. Jessica's support. Newfound resolve. Ready to see this through. Later, in Jessica's office, Mark calmly outlined strategy, steady, determined. Jessica listened, nodding. Top priority, he said, tapping table. Ensure she can't touch anything she thinks is hers. All accounts she might depend on. Make sure she can't access them. Already in progress, Jessica replied. Court-approved temporary freeze this morning. Withdrawals? Won't be there. Mark, small, satisfied smile. Good. Consequences of choices. Took our savings without a thought. Now, learn what it means to lose something she thought was hers. Jessica leaned back, sharp gaze. Beginning, Mark. Freezing accounts buys time. Build our case. Court see her true character. Mark's face darkened. Sarah's betrayal. David's role. Doug myself, he said quietly. David's business. Not as clean as he pretends. Clients deserve to know. Jessica raised eyebrow, intrigued. Find anything? Mark's eyes gleamed resolve. Accountant friend helped review David's transactions. Cheating clients. Billing for uncompleted work. Inflated expenses. Clients. Unhappy when they learn how he's handled their money. Jessica leaned forward, interested. Exposing dirty finances. Hit him hard. Where it hurts most. But be careful. Traced back to you. Legal complications. Mark's expression firm. Not petty revenge. Holding people accountable. Actions in shadows. Expose truth about David to clients. Jessica's approving glance. Let's do this, she confirmed, quiet confidence. Next day, Mark crafted anonymous letters, carefully worded, subtle hints. Arouse suspicion. Not direct accusations. Enough details to unsettle David's key clients. Files attached, questionable practices, pressing send, wave of relief, not just revenge. Truth about David. That evening, Jessica update. Information from court. Sarah tried to access your account. Must have panicked, realizing funds blocked. Mark. Brief smile. Events unfolding. Sarah thought she could outmaneuver him. Reality dawning. Don't get comfortable, Jessica warned, amusement in voice. Sarah's cunning. David's slippery. Won't give up easily. Stay sharp. Mark nodded, grateful for support. Thank you, Jessica. Couldn't have done this without you. Pause. Jessica gently added, Mark, I'm with you every step of the way. Morning, unexpected call. Alex, longtime friend, works with David's client. Mark, Alex began, curious, concerned. Strange letter about David. Close, but something I should know? Neutral tone, Mark replied. Alex, wanted you aware. David, taking advantage of clients. Just be cautious. Alex whistled. Never guessed. Thanks for heads up. I'll let others know. Call ended. Profound satisfaction. Plan moving. David's reputation crumbling. Clients who trusted him would turn away. Business, finances, at risk. Evening, Jessica messaged. Contact reported Sarah and David's vacation fund, depleting faster than expected. David's clients furious. Sarah still can't access your accounts. Mark replied quickly. Perfect. Plan to use my money for their future. Now need every cent to stay afloat. Next day, Jessica office. Serious expression. One last idea, she began. Decision's yours. Intrigued, Mark leaned forward. Thinking? Lowered voice. Formal claim against Sarah. Abandonment, fraud, left drained account, strengthened position in court. Mark's eyes lit up. Think it'd work? Given everything she's done, high chance, Jessica replied. Solid evidence. Documents showing intent to take money, leave. Strong case. Mark recalled messages between Sarah, David, plans outlined. Texts between them, he said thoughtfully. Those work? Jessica nodded. Great start. Court learns her role orchestrating this. Changes everything. As Mark and team examined strategy, new resolve. Not just revenge on Sarah, David, restoring justice, making them feel consequences. Days later, Alex called again, amusement. Mark, you'll love this. David in serious trouble, clients dropping him, one by one, domino tower falling. Laughter. Mark smiled. No surprise. Walked on thin ice too long. Sooner or later, catch up. Week passed. Jessica updated Mark. Sarah, David's troubles mounting. Sarah tried to reach him, urgent voicemails, letters. Mark ignored them. Let her feel impact of her choices. Wanted independence? Now she had it. Without his financial backing, connections. End of week, Jessica called. They're hitting rock bottom, Mark. You did it. Mark exhaled, satisfaction. Thank you, Jessica. Couldn't have done it without your help. Not over yet, she reminded him, pride in voice. But now you're in control. Keep moving forward. Hanging up, renewed energy. Taken life back. Sarah, David, feeling betrayal's weight. He wasn't who they dismissed. Resilience. Guide him forward. Lobby of luxury hotel. Soft golden light. Quiet music. Sophisticated air. Sarah and David approached reception. Sarah phone, purse, confidence. Finally gained everything she desired. Sleek credit card. Triumphant smile. Check in, she announced, glancing at David, smirk, designer suit. Honeymoon suite. Receptionist swiped card, tapped keys, frowned. Apologies, ma'am. Issue with payment. Sarah's confidence wavered. What? Run it again. Honeymoon suite. Receptionist nodded, tried again, expression more concerned. Card declined, ma'am. Another one? David's smirk vanished, leaned forward. Tension. What's going on? Thought you transferred all funds. Enough, right? Sarah rummaged purse, second card, strained composure, racing heart. Try this one. Forced smile. Receptionist swiped, waited, apologetic. Sorry, ma'am, this card declined too. Chill ran down Sarah's spine. Can't be, she muttered. Quick, anxious glance at David, growing irritation. You said you transferred all money, Sarah. Why card's not working? Sarah's hands trembled, calm exterior, panic swelling, nervous glance at onlookers. Quiet, David, she whispered. Stay calm. Barely steady. Turned to receptionist, anxiety masked by polite request. Hold reservation? Sort things with bank? Long way. Trip important. Receptionist paused, screen, nodded, courteous practice smile. Of course, ma'am. Hold reservation. Payment confirmation by tomorrow morning. Sarah forced smile, nodded. Thank you. Stepped away. David gripped her arm, irritation barely contained. Make sure this resolved by tomorrow, Sarah, sharply. Didn't leave everything behind to be humiliated like this. Sarah's palms clammy. Phone moved away from lobby. Bank's number. Automated prompts. Anxiety mounting. "Thank you for calling. How can I help?" Cheerful voice. Bank rep. "Yes, card's not working. Transferred money from joint account to personal one, can't access it." Steady tone, struggling to maintain. "Let me check." Rep responded. Sarah held breath, nervously tapping foot, worry deepening. Moments later, Rep's answer. Blow. "Funds temporarily frozen. Ongoing investigation." Sarah's pulse quickened. "What? Why?" "Transfer from joint account, flagged by court order. Funds frozen. Contact co-owner or attorney to resolve." Heart sank. Mark had retaliated. Ended call, trembling hands. David stared, seething anger. "Are you kidding me?" hissed clenched teeth. "Assured me you had everything controlled. You thought it all set. Didn't think Mark would respond this way?" Sarah stammered. "I thought it was all set. Didn't think Mark would do this." David scoffed, shaking head. "Maybe you should have thought this through before dragging me into this mess." She reached out, pleading. "Please, David, don't leave." Shrugged her off, anger palpable. Exit. Alone, heavy heart. Sarah swallowed pride. Mark's contact, dialing. Hand shook, holding phone. Unanswered ring. Despair. Regret. Voicemail. Tried again, holding breath. Answering machine. "Deep breath," whispered receiver. "Mark, please." "Mistake. Hurt you, but don't punish me like this. Just small amount. Nowhere to stay tonight." Voice faded. Call ended. Waiting for a response. Nothing. Heart tightened. He was pulling away. Consequences of actions. Trembling fingers. One last message. "Mark, so sorry. Messed everything up. Really need your help. Just one last time. Please." Watched message send. Clung to fragile hope. Hint of kindness. Minutes stretched into silence. Harsh reality clearer. Life with David crumbling. Alone. Regret. Mark's voice echoed. Endless patience, best in her, unaware of betrayal hidden in her words. Now, isolated, helpless. Person she hurt held her fate. Hesitant breath, turned away from reception. Warm lobby light, bleak, forlorn glow. Invisible eyes. Cold night, phone clutched. Lifeline. Miracle never come. Later, soft knock. Silence in Mark's house. Kids asleep upstairs. Light from kitchen, dim living room. Familiar ache in chest. Emptiness since Sarah's betrayal. Crossed room, open door. Jessica. Softly lit face, evening glow. Food bag, wine bottle. Warm gaze, rare, unexpectedly comforting. "Thought you might need company tonight." Gentle smile. "Know how hard this has been." Mark, taken aback, returned smile. Gratitude. "Didn't have to, Jessica. But thank you." Living room. Presence easing tense silence since Sarah left. Food laid out. Eyes wandered room. Family photos. Shelves. Thoughtful gaze, unspoken. Ate in silence. Jessica broke it. "Thought about you a lot, Mark. Everything you've been through." Sigh. Fork down. "Honestly, don't know what to feel." Resignation. Part of me angry. Anger consume me. But kids, they're all that matters. Jessica reached out, Hand on his, gentle touch. You've been through so much, Mark. Soft, sincere voice. Kindness he hadn't felt in long time. Can't imagine pain, betrayal, but you're strongest person I know. Mark looked at her, truly seeing her. Jessica, there through everything. Difficult days, adjusting to new reality. Friend. Tonight, tenderness, vulnerability, hadn't noticed. Jessica, deep breath. Whisper. Don't want to intrude, but always admired you, Mark. Way you put kids first, even when it cost you so much. Didn't deserve what happened. Hesitated, fingers brushing his hand. Maybe you deserve happiness again. Mark's breath caught. Moving on? Feeling again? Riley's words ignited fragile hope. Jessica, he began, voice thick, emotion. Never thought I could feel this again. Didn't expect it. Her hand tightened around his, support. Not saying this has to mean anything, softly. But you matter to me, and if you're ever ready, I'm here. Silence. Shared understanding. Emotions needing no words. Lump in Mark's throat. Valued her kindness, presence. Not alone. Jessica, more than friend. New possibility. Jessica, he began, voice trembling. Thank you, Jessica, for everything. Still figuring myself out, but think I'm finally ready to let go of what's been holding me back. She met his gaze, understanding. No need to rush, Mark. I'll be here, as long as you need. Sat together, shadows of past softening in her presence. Not grand romance. Quiet, genuine moment. Back to reality. Talked. Shared stories. Battles won. Lost. Dreams. Waiting. Hours passing. Shift inside Mark. Small, closed off part of heart, opening. Conversation flowed, heartfelt confessions, light memories of youth. Jessica, college stories. Mark, first time in long while, laughed. Warm, healing laugh, easing pain he'd carried. Remember camping trip? Jessica chuckled, eyes sparkling. You tried to cook, almost set camp on fire. Mark covered face, embarrassment. Hoping that was forgotten. No chance, Jessica giggled. Sarah never forgave us, but I'll never forget it either. Always wanted to make everyone happy, always admired that. Mark looked at her. Jessica, steady support. Even when he hadn't appreciated it. Now, something more between them? Moved to couch, side by side, soft light, warm shadows. Jessica rested head on shoulder. Deep peace enveloped him. Years, breaking silence, whispered. Jessica, know I haven't been easy lately, but tonight, with you here, feel like I can breathe again. Looked up at him, gaze warm, gentle. Mark, you've been there for everyone else. Let someone be there for you. Don't have to carry it all alone. Words touched deep within. How much anger, regret, guilt he'd carried. Dark feelings making way for something new. Light, unexplainable. Night wore on. Comfortable silence settled. Stillness. Head on shoulder. Gazing darkness. First time since world fell apart. Spark of hope. Quiet moment. Jessica beside him. New beginning. Chance to be seen. understood. Jessica's gentle voice broke silence. Mark, whatever happened, want you to know, you deserve real happiness, and if that means moving forward, letting go of past, I'll be here. Closed eyes, letting words sink in, soothing balm, didn't know what lay ahead. At that moment, less alone, dare to believe happiness still within reach. Few days later, Mark office, sorting papers set aside since life changed. Weight of old wounds, betrayals lightening, Jessica's presence, peace. Slowly, letting go of past. Soft knock door. Froze, glanced clock. Late, not expecting anyone. Stood, opened door. Sarah. Threshold. Nothing like restaurant night. Swollen, red eyes, disheveled hair, weary posture. Mark, she whispered, barely audible. Looked into her eyes, calm, distant, shifted uncomfortably, wringing hands, struggling words. Finally, voice wavered, spoke. Please, can we talk? Sarah stood outside, face twisted, anxiety. Mark held door ajar, distance, arms crossed, leaning frame, silent weight. Trembling breath, voice shaking, tears shimmering eyes. I was wrong, Mark, she whispered. Quivered voice, continued. Thought starting over with David was answer. Convinced myself he was who I needed. But wrong. Things got tough. He left, without a word. Lowered gaze, regret. Everything he promised. Empty. Mark silent, expressionless watch. Long pause, finally spoke, voice cold, steady. So, everything fell apart. You decided, come back here, to my door? Words like blow, Sarah flinched. Voice breaking, reached out hand. Please, Mark, I'm sorry. So much history, so many memories. You know me better than anyone. Can't we try again? Looked at her closely, bitter smile. Try again? Repeated hollow laugh. Sarah, you didn't even hesitate when you left. Threw away everything we built, without a second thought. And now you think, we just go back to way things were? Sarah's desperation grew, words fervent. Mistake, Mark. Convinced myself I needed more, something different. But you were best thing in my life. Only realized it, when I lost everything. Mark shook head slowly, words no impact. You made your choice, Sarah. You left, took our savings, walked away from everything we had, all for this new life with David. Face contorted, dropped knees porch, clasping hands. Please, Mark, she sobbed. Nothing left. David's gone. Money's gone. Everything I built, crumbled. I know I hurt you. Know I don't deserve anything from you. But I need you. Flicker compassion crossed Mark's face, quickly suppressed. Carried weight of betrayal too long, words no sway. You need me? Asked, disbelief. Sarah, you made it clear. I was anchor holding you back. Said I wasn't worth it. Looked up, tear-streaked face, remorse. Didn't understand what I was saying, selfish, thinking only of myself. Didn't realize what I had, until I lost it all. Voice dropped whisper. I've lost everything, Mark. Please, give me chance to make it right. At that moment, Jessica appeared hallway, calm, confident. Approaching, hand on Mark's shoulder. Support. unmistakably. Mark looked at her, warmth he hadn't experienced years. Stability, never found with Sarah. Unlike empty promises past, Jessica offered real. Sarah's eyes widened, gazed Jessica's hand on Mark's shoulder. Expression shifted, realized. You've moved on? She whispered, almost to herself. Mark nodded, voice firm. Yes, Sarah, I have. I finally understand real respect, loyalty, found someone who values me for who I am, not just what I can give. Turned to Jessica, gratitude softening gaze. Jessica gently squeezed shoulder. Sarah, desperation gripped, grabbed his hand. Please, Mark, she begged. I'll do anything. I can change. I'll become the woman you deserve. Please, don't leave me with nothing. Sarah whispered, voice trembling desperation. Mark gently pulled hand from hers, stepping back. Sarah, replied, voice calm, firm. I didn't leave you empty-handed. You chose what to hold on to, and what to leave behind. Flash, memories of her departure. Thrills, laughter, now hollow, standing before Mark, Jessica, unspoken bond. Reality hit, final verdict. So, this is how it ends? Asked, voice shaking. Are you really done with me? Mark held gaze, unwavering. Yes, Sarah. I'm done. I gave you everything. You made choice to leave. I've come to terms with that. But I can't give you another chance. Sarah's shoulders slumped, last hope fading eyes. Searched his face, slightest softness, nothing left to hold on to. Heavy heart slowly rose, realizing words no power. Jessica stepped closer, hand slipping around Mark, tender, unmistakable gesture, new life he'd chosen. Let's go home, Mark, Jessica whispered softly, warm, reassuring. Together, turned toward door, leaving Sarah porch, watching enter warmth home once hers. Truth struck. Final clarity. Let go of something real, never get back. Alone, biting night air. Door gently closed behind them, cold of own decisions. Morning came. Sunlight garden, patches light grass. Mark by flower beds, kids' laughter chasing oak tree. Sound strange, comforting, peace he hadn't felt long time. Jessica beside him, presence steady, familiar, looked at her, gentle smile. Never thought I'd feel this again. Peace. Not after everything with Sarah. But now, feel like I have everything I need. Jessica met gaze, warm, supportive, softly squeezed hand. You've earned this, Mark. Quietly. After everything you've been through. Distance, 9-year-old Lucy twirled hair, halo. 13-year-old Logan ran past, arms wide, wings, laughter ringing, pretending fly. 17-year-old Nick looked at father, smile, pride. Dad, I'm flying, Logan shouted, jumping rock, grin. Lucy clapped, cheering. Again, Logan! I want to fly too! Determination shining, tried to copy him. Mark chuckled, shaking head. Careful, you two. Might just take off. Teased, light voice. Jessica joined laughter, joy blending naturally. So much energy today, observed, smiling, carefree scene. Mark nodded, gaze kids running grass, laughter infectious. Worried so much how they'd cope after everything. But seeing them, I know they'll be okay. Jessica looked at him, expression softening. "You're a good father, Mark. You've shown them resilience, something they'll carry with them." Words resonated deep, held her gaze, truth settling in. "Hard not to feel like I let them down when Sarah left," admitted, voice barely audible. "Feared ruined everything for children." Jessica's voice interrupted anxious thoughts. "You haven't ruined anything. You gave them strong foundation when everything around falling apart." Firmly. "They have you. And now they have me too." Warmth rising within Mark. "Can't express how much it means. You're here." Voice trembling emotion. Jessica smiled, broad, reassuring. "Good," she replied. "Because I'm staying." Watched children, laughing, carefree. Change within Mark. Subtle, profound. Weight past regrets, still there, no longer pressing. Lightness. Promise new beginning. "Hey kids," called, catching attention. "Lemonade break?" "Yes!" Lucy shouted, running, Logan beside, superhero dashes. Settled shade picnic table. Jessica, pitcher lemonade cooler, fresh citrus, recently cut grass. "Enjoy today?" asked, pouring lemonade bright cups. "Yeah!" Logan, bouncing feet. "Next, we're going to fly to the moon." Jessica gasped, amazed. "Can I come? Mission?" Lucy's eyes sparkled. "Of course! You'll be co-pilot!" Laughter filled yard, oasis peace, refuge past struggles. Mark, sip lemonade, kids chat animatedly Jessica. First time long while, truly at home. "Can we have picnic again tomorrow?" Lucy, hope. "Sandwiches? Cookies?" Mark grinned. "Perfect plan. I'll make famous peanut butter and jelly sandwiches," Logan declared proudly, puffing chest. Mark teased, "Only if you promise not stain shirt." All burst laughter. Sun sank lower. Golden glow seen. Mark. Rare clarity. This was reality now. Life laughter. Warmth. Hope. Turning Jessica. Quietly. "Do you think we'll be okay?" Eyes met his, voice soft, sure. "You're creating something beautiful for them. Just keep being yourself. They'll be happy." Deep gratitude. "Thank you, Jessica, for believing in me." Gaze softened, lingering. "Easy to believe in you when I see how hard you're trying make everything better." Moment, Mark realized transformation. More than past mistakes. Father, friend, maybe partner again. "Let's make promise." Voice resolve. "Vow to move forward. Start this new chapter together." Jessica nodded, sincere. "I promise." Children's laughter drifted warm evening air. Leaves whispering. Mark took Jessica's hand, fingers intertwined. Together, watched new life unfolding. Their chance, new start, rewrite story. Looking children's beaming faces, joy. Profound, unwavering hope future. Future without woman once his partner 27 years. One left children behind, pursue happiness lover. Her betrayal changed Mark's life better. Now, truly happy. My friend, this is the end of the story. If you liked this story, then put your royal like and subscribe to the channel. May the Force be with you.